What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So Maokai, this is the League of Legends champion from the Shadow Isles I'm going to be covering today. So last Thursday we covered Yorick, which I really enjoyed, and this is continuing this theme. You know what I mean, which is Maokai. I think next week is the final champion officially, which is Elise. Is it Elise? Like a Lotus? Or is it Elise? Anyways, that's for next week. This week is Maokai. What am I going to do? I'm going to go through his bio, I'm going to go through his story, I'm going to go through his skins. He has an outdated spotlight that I'm going to go through, and also some special interactions. I couldn't find any login themes. Maybe I'm not looking in the right places, but I couldn't find any login themes for Maokai, which is a bit of a shame, considering how epic Yorick's login theme was last week. Yeah, I'm going to go through all that. Hey, I'm going to go through some of his art concepts as well. I'll definitely have a look at that. I'll timestamp the whole thing as I always do. So, without further ado, let's go. So, Maokai, all around me are empty husks, soulless and unafraid, but I will bring them fear. Okay, I see you, Maokai, I see you. Roll tank. So, let's read the bio. Twisted, what's that? The Twisted, what? Treant. A fictional organism having many characteristics of a tree, okay, but with human-like mobility and facial features. Learn something new every day. Okay, so that is Maokai, and what are these little things here? These little saplings. Anyways, let's move on with the bio. So Maokai is a rageful, towering treant, who fights the unnatural horrors of the Shadow Isles. He was twisted into a force of vengeance after a magical cataclysm destroyed his home, which obviously we know about now, surviving undead only through the waters of life infused with his heartwood. Right, so the waters of life seem to be the thing that protect him from the black mist, like we found out last week with Yorick. Once a peaceful nature spirit, Maokai now furiously battles to banish the scourge of unlife from the Shadow Isles and restore his home to its former beauty. So once again, clearly he's got something in common with Yorick there. Maybe they should team up. Just a suggestion. Long before living memory, a chain of islands erupted from deep beneath the ocean tides as blank slates of rock and clay. With its creation, the nature spirit Maokai was born. Okay, he took the form of a treant, with his tall body covered in bark and long limbs resembling branches. Maokai felt the profound loneliness of the land and its potential for teeming growth. He wandered from island to island in search of signs of life, growing ever more forlorn in his solitude. Okay. On a hilly isle covered in soft, rich soil, Maokai sensed the boundless energy radiating from deep beneath the ground. He plunged his great roots downwards, should I say, until they reached a spirit of magical, life-giving water and drank deeply. From this potent liquid, he grew hundreds of saplings, saplings, and planted them across the islands. Okay, so he's rocking a little family. Okay, soon the land was showered with verdant forests, groves of towering very pine and tangled woods, all steeped in wondrous magic. Magnificent sky trees with expansive canopies and thickly winding roots covered the isles with lush green foliage. Nature spirits were drawn to the lavish vegetation, and animals revelled, in the fertile greenery, like you do. So, when humans eventually came to the island, they too thrived at the land's abundance and formed an enlightened society of scholars devoted to studying the world's mysteries. Right. Though Maokai was aware of their presence, he saw how they respected the sanctuary of the land, sensing the deep magic within the wood. The humans built their homes in areas not heavily forested to avoid disturbing any natural spirits. Unlike most humans today. Maokai occasionally revealed himself directly to those he trusted and blessed them with knowledge of the Verdant Isles, even its greatest gift, the underground spring that could heal mortal wounds. Right, so this once again ties in with the whole thing with Viego. The underground springs can heal mortal wounds, but they clearly can't revive someone who is dead. Centuries passed and Mordecai lived in idyllic contentment until a fleet of soldiers from across the sea breached upon the shores of the Isles. Mordecai sensed something was terribly wrong. The grief-madden king bore the corpse of his queen and in hopes of reviving her, bathed her decaying flesh in the healing waters, which may be converted into decaying flesh as well. Reanimated as a rotting corpse, the queen... reanimated as a rotting corpse, the queen begged to return to death. The king sought to reverse what he had done, unwittingly casting a terrible curse upon the land. Yeah, so let me get this right. In his bio, reanimating a rotting corpse, so he brought the queen back to life, but not in the form that she was before she died, basically. And didn't she stab him, or he stabbed her with the blade of the ruined king? And then that's what brought this curse upon them. I'll have to go back and double check that. Anyway, leagues away, Mordecai felt the first ripples of the disaster that would soon devastate the Isles. He sensed a horrific force gathering beneath the soil, and a bitter chill washed over him. As the ruination spread, Mordecai desperately plunged his roots deep into the ground and drank of the healing waters, saturating every fibre of his being with the magic. Before the cursed water reached him, Mordecai withdrew his roots, severing all connection to the pool. He howled in rage that the sacred reservoir he had entrusted to men was fully corrupted, the spiraling coils churning underwater until nothing pure remained. Okay. Moments later, the mist surrounded the islands, blackened and spread over the land, trapping all living things in an unnatural state between life and death. Mordecai watched in helpless agony as all he knew, plants, nature, spirits, animals, and humans alike, twisted into wretched shades. His fury grew. The great beauty he had cultivated from tiny saplings fell to ruin in an instant at the careless hand of man. The enervating mist coiled around Mordecai, and he wept as the bright flowers adorning his shoulders crumbled and fell to dust. Hard times. His body shuddered and contorted into a mass of gnarled roots and tangled branches as the mist leached life from him, but Mordecai's heartwood was saturated with the precious waters of life, saving him, similar to how he saved Yorick from the terrible fate of undead. What's interesting, obviously the waters are part of him, but they don't even technically need to be part of you to save you, because clearly the waters were in the vial that Yorick had round his neck in the pendant, so it wasn't even in him, and it saved him as well. As grotesque wraiths and horrific abominations flooded the land, Mordecai was overcome by a host of lifeless men. He struck the spirits with his branch-like limbs in manic violence, realizing the force of his blows could shatter them to dust. Mordecai shuddered with revulsion. He had never killed before. He flew at the breathless shapes in a frenzy, but hundreds more overwhelmed him, and eventually he was forced to retreat. Okay. With his home all but decimated and his companions turned to deathless horrors, Mordecai was tempted to try and escape the nightmare of the Isles. Let's see how that goes. But from deep within his twisted form, he felt the sacred waters giving him life. He had survived the ruination by carrying the very heart of the island within him, and he would not abandon his home now. As the Blessed Isles' first nature spirit, he would remain and fight for the souls of the land. Though surrounded by endless hosts of malicious foes and darkening mists, Mordecai fights with fierce vengeance to conquer the evil that plagues the Isles. His only pleasure comes from dealing savage violence to the soulless wraiths who roam his land. Some days Mordecai subdues the mist and its deathless spirits, breaking their hold on a grove of trees or smaller thicket. Though new life has not bloomed in such cursed soil for an age, Mordecai strives to carve havens, however temporary, free from regret and decay. So long as Mordecai continues to fight, hope remains, for steeped within his heartwood are the uncorrupted waters of life, the last remaining chance of restoring the Isles. If the land returns to its joyous state, Mordecai too will shed his twisted form. Right. The nature spirit brought life to these Isles long ago, and he refuses to rest until the Isle blooms once more. That's pretty interesting, actually. It says here, the last remaining chance of restoring the Isles. If the land returns to its joyous state, Mordecai too will shed his twisted form. So this form that we have, or we see here, isn't the form he had before Viego obviously corrupted the Blessed Isles. Interesting to speculate what that would look like, his blessed form. But no, that was really good. Really good to find out, obviously, about his background and what kicked off everything for the Shadow Isles. And what's interesting is hearing the events of the ruination from every champion's perspective on the Isle. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I am going to move on to his skins. Let's go. In fact, before I move on to his skins, let me quickly look at his art gallery. There's 2 images here. So we've got Maokai concept art. I like it. That's cool. One of his little saplings here as well. I like how he's got kind of like a face in one of his arms here. And a lantern as well. What I've also... Well, in fact, let me see the next one first. Ooh, interesting. So this is a Maokai model. Okay. So what I was going to say is it's interesting that a lot of the Shadow Isles champs have this, I've mentioned before, this neon blue/green glow throughout the whole body. This is just purely blue. Let me go back to the top. Yeah, this is blue. So I don't know what this represents. Maybe because he has the Blessed Isles water flowing through his body. He is more blue than the others. The others seem to be more green. So maybe that's a reference to that. Who knows? Anyways. What a stupid dog. That dog is always barking. Don't know why there's little small dogs that are just wanna... Yeah. Anyways. Right, okay, so onto the skins. So let's jump over the abilities for now. Available skins. So this is his base skin. Yeah, I like it. It's cool. I like his base skin. I like the little cute saplings he's got there as well. And also, yeah, and this is interesting as well. There's also some kind of blue here as well. Maybe the Blessed Isles water showing there. Anyways, so we have charred Maokai. I say Mordecai. No, I keep thinking of saying Mordecai. Anyway, charred Maokai. So this is nice. This is the version of maybe Maokai that didn't get the Blessed Isles juice. Yeah, wow. And interestingly, the difference between this one and the base one is the base one, he has the little saplings around him that are next to him. By the looks of it here, they are chained to him. Clearly not by will. So, okay, that's nice. Totemic Maokai. Looking like some out of Crash Bandicoot. Why am I getting Crash Bandicoot vibes? In a Crash Bandicoot where he puts the mask on. And he says, what does he say? I'm not even going to try and see what he says, but I'll put it. But yeah, it just reminds me of that. Looking kind of sinister there as well. And at the front there, the beach got this kind of Moana vibe there. Cool, okay. Festive Maokai. Okay, so it's got the festive theme there. Cool. And I love how he puts the hat on his arm and the tree on his head. The tree is a hat and the hat is this. I don't know what the hat is. But yeah, okay, cool. Haunted Maokai. Nice. Look at that. That one's good. I like that one. Goalkeeper. Oh yeah, we saw this before, didn't we? So when we covered Twisted Fate, and we covered, is this Lucian? I think it is Lucian. Oh, it's Echo. Lucian, I'm going to say. This is Lucian, and this is Maokai. Goalkeeper. Okay. He's got the nets on his head as well. Okay. Maokai. Wow. What's going on with this theme? So last week we had the Meowrick on it, I think. And then we had Rengar in the background as a cat as well. And once again we get Maokai here. Maokai rocking the cat theme with the onesie as well. Is that Tam Kench in the background? I think it is. Okay. Victorious. Nice. Victorious Maokai. Okay, I like that one. That's cool. And World Breaker. World Breaker Maokai. Nice. Okay. So all of them are pretty cool. If I'm being honest with you though, none of them are like, wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing skin. But they're all pretty decent. I'll give them that. So, if I had to pick my favourite one, it would have to be... I'm gonna say this one. That would be my favourite one. Is that right? Totem. It's a totem, isn't it? Totemic. You got there eventually. Totemic Maokai. That is my favourite one. Just looks really sinister. It looks scary, and I like that. So that would be my number 1. Number 2 would probably be, I'm going to go with Chard. That's really cool. Chard Maokai would be number 2, and number 3 would be, for obvious reasons. That would be my number 3. So they would be my top 3 skins for Maokai. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on to his, he doesn't have a login theme, which is what I normally do next, which is a bit of a shame. So I'm going to move on to his story. Let's go. So the story is Night Bloom. So the chill wind whips through cracks in my bark with a hollow whistle sound. I shiver. My limbs have long forgotten the warmth of summer. The towering shapes around me fracture and fall in the gale. The lives within died long ago. Now they are my silent companions. Their brittle trunks remain only as empty husks, rough greyish sketches of the lush forest that once bloomed here. A spirit weaves between the trees in front of me, pale and spectral against the night air. A knot tightens in my bark. Normally I would lash my roots through its heart, but today I hold still, trying not to alert the wraith to my presence. Okay. I am tired of resisting. That I exist at all is an act of defiance against the curse plaguing these lands. Its moonlight eyes are vacant. There is nothing alive and vulnerable to fuel its cold bitterness of the Isle of Death. Nothing to be hunted or consumed. We'll ask Lucy about that. The spirits slip between the trees, leaving me to my solitude. I look across the forest of shadows of my branches waver. My gaze catches a tiny flame of red glowing amid the endless grey. Nestled in a mound of black dirt, the smallest flower bud pushes up from the ground, its petals so bright they burn my eyes. Ooh, okay. It is a night bloom. Long ago they carpeted the floor of the Blessed Isles, blossoming on the evening of the summer solstice. By morning the flowers wilted, leaving only blackened petals, not to be seen again until the following year. That's a bit grim, isn't it? But for one night they illuminated the forest with blazing crimson, as if the very ground were aflame. I look around and for a fleeting moment hope that if one flower exists there might be others, but there is only the sombre grey of these dead isles. My burrow creaks as I take a shaky step forwards. I approach the bloom, transfixed, crushing ashen leaves to dust underfoot. My colossal frame towers over its delicate shape. I lean down until my face is inches above the sweet-scented petals. The potent groundwater within my heartwood stirs, awakening in recognition. Life. The flower's neck is tilted as if curious. Deep vermilion veins spread across each petal, and its pale green stem is coated with hundreds of silvery velvet soft hairs. I could spend eternity basking in its very facet. Every moment it grows and shifts in subtle ways, its stem pushing ever higher while its petals slowly unfurl. I'm enchanted by each movement, however miniature. I watch as the bloom spreads to reveal the filaments extending from within, its heady scent flooding my mind with colour. For a moment I forget the cold, the hollow wind and my own bitterness. A pale light flickers and I flinch. A glowing shape approaches, my bark tingles. Nothing from these bloodless woods is an ally. Wonder who it could be. The cursed spirit is returning, attracted to the lure of movement. Life is not so still as death. True that. Took me a while to work out what I was saying then. Yeah, so true. I flex my limb in fury, no longer eluding violence, I welcome it. For one night a living thing will exist on these barren isles unmarred by corrupt forces. The spirit glides towards us. She was once human, but is now translucent and bone white. Her blank expression grows ravenous as she sees the blood-red blossom. The spectre races towards the flower and tries to inhale its fragile life. Before the bloom withers into a lifeless shade, I fling my limb towards and lash them about the spirit's legs. She screeches, recoiling as if burned, and I roar. The groundwater within me is anathema to such unnatural beings, as in it's probably poison. She twists and breaks free of my grasp. I hoist my roots and smash them to the ground. The impact splits the barren topsoil and sends shockwaves through the earth. The reverberations strike the wraith, and she reels in agony. I laugh bitterly. Gay. As she stirs, I sling my limbs through her form, and she dissolves. Dusky mists rise from the ground, accompanied by a foul stench. As the wind moans, dozens of spirits materialise before me, their girlish faces gaping silently at the scent before them. The night bloom and I grow before the wall of shadows. I will not let them destroy this one pure thing amongst so much darkness. I throw all my rage into my blows, driving them back with furious strength. I cannot destroy every spirit on the isle, but I can hold them off for a time. A wraith tries to dart past me. I howl as I lift my roots to pierce its heart, and it dissipates into mists. This is the thing though, when he kills them, does he kill them? By doing that and they dissipate into mist, do they return at a certain point? Or does he actually kill them for them never to return? My strength is draining with so many spirits nearby, but I refuse to concede. The flower grows brightly beneath the moonlight, oblivious to the battle for its very existence. A single crimson petal falls from its perfect blossom like a drop of blood. The life cycle of the bloom is near its end, bringing death and with it respite. But I do not crave it. I feel I could cleanse the entire island of its scourge in my fury. The cursed mist had risen above the tree line and swirls in great clouds. An endless host of spirits pour from the fog, mouths agape with ghoulish hunger. I rise to my greatest height and slam my limbs into the ravenous spirits. And we know from the most recent Tales of Runeterra video that Maokai can, he can grow. Let's put it that way. Shattering one after another into dust. Still more come. I howl as I stir the air into a cruddy twirling spiral and nourish the storm with my wrath until it expands in a tempestuous whirlwind. I revel in the chaos as the maelstrom surges in a frenzied circle around me and the flower. It blasts the spirits violently back beyond the trees. From within this nightmare, I have carved a sanctuary where life can grow, which was mentioned in the bio as well. I turn to the flower. We are silent together at the eye of the storm, still amidst the madness. A second fiery petal falls from the night bloom, then another. My energy drains into the maelstrom, but I do not falter and the tempest rages on. With each passing moment, the blossom drops further until it faces the ground. It is perfect in its slow natural decay. I cannot look away as it gradually loses its crown of flaming petals and wilts completely. It is dead. I lower my branches and the maelstrom quiets. Above me the sky is slate grey, as bright as it ever gets in this grim place. The bloom of the mist encroaches once more and the spirits return. Their faces are blank, no longer sensing the illicit life of the night bloom, no longer anticipating the joy of a fresh kill. They retreat into the hollow woods. I whip my roots through a spectre as it passes me, scattering its essence into the fading mist. The others edge further away from me as they return to their gloom. Though the land appears unchanged, these isles are not the same grey wastelands they were yesterday. The waters of life stir within me, and the soul beneath my roots is fertile again. Though its petals decay into dust, the luminous night bloom burns fire bright in my mind, igniting my fury. Just as these islands were born of burning rock, I will cleanse them of their pestilence in a flaming blaze. I follow the trailing spirits as they slip between hollow trees. They will pay for their wickedness. Right, so that was a nice story about the night bloom. One poor little flower, but it goes to show what it represents, and obviously what it represents to Maokai as well, which is hope. Clearly hope that things can change, and there is hope for the Shadow Isles as well. It'd be interesting to tie this in though with once again with Yorick, because if I remember rightly from his bio, he can raise minions in essence from the dead that he can control. So in a way there for Yorick as well as Maokai, there is some kind of hope for the Shadow Isles. And I wonder how more importantly they're both going to tie in with this whole theme that's developing around the Ruined King. Because kind of sad for me in a way, these two seem to sound like they should have some kind of pivotal role in the events of what happens in the future with Viego. But I don't think either of them were in the Ruined King game. Do you know the Ruined King game where they're in Bilgewater? Who is there? There's Aerith, there's Yasuo, there's Pike, There's I want to say aioli, but aioli is a garlic dip, but you know who I mean. Yeah, aioli. I'm gonna call it aioli. Who else is there? And there's someone else. Misfortune. There's Misfortune. Oh, and there's Braun. They're the 6 that are in the Ruin King game. But if I'm basing it on lore that I know so far, Yorick is by far the most important lore-wise to the Ruin King. And Maokai seems to have an important role as well. So it'd be a bit of a shame if they're not involved in some shape, way or form going forward with the Ruin King. But anyways, enough of that. What I'm going to do now is I am going to move on to his special interactions. Let's go.
Stop carving words into my bark. Everyone knows G-Hops K.
I wouldn't have got that initially until it had the brackets. Let me find it.
Everyone knows G-Hops K.
Garen Hart's Katarina. Which is a weird kind of match, if you ask me. But who knows, opposites attract, don't they? So, there we go. That's good. That's good.
I'd like you more if you were a fox.
Okay.
In the end, darkness destroys itself.
True.
I am nothing like you. I can't be. For the forest to bloom, I will tolerate your presence.
What's he doing? He's just throwing something down on the floor and stamping on it. What?
You create only destruction, Star Forger.
Okay.
You make me glad I don't have ears.
Okay.
An axe is no danger if I cut you down first. Strength starts in the roots, and you have none.
Oh, okay. Savage.
Ah, what mortals will do for beauty. Kill and wear pointy shoes.
Don't forget the pointy shoes.
Stop putting web in my branches. I hear you're skittering, mortal.
Oh, is she mortal?
You give sticks a bad name. And fiddles, too. Demacia's walls will not stop the Black Mist. Trample that blade of grass, horseman. I dare you. One of many shadows on the Isles. The shadow of war. Kill them with kindness.
Ivan.
The sapling of the God Willow. Only men seek redemption. Make like a tree and vacate the area. A voice follows this one, a song like those in the mist. It is the Isles that were betrayed.
Yeah,
Spirit
okay.
of vengeance, and what of the forest?
Well, technically, Callista's betrayed as well. Come on.
The song of life, now silent. The saplings wish to hear your dirge. Please sing it while I destroy you.
It reminds me a little bit of Galio.
You make me glad I don't have ears.
In the way he talks.
The forest clings to life, and you would end it. I am no abomination. The forest clings to life, and you would end it. I am no abomination. Magic came from nature, and will return to nature. Another pile of bones wearing a crown. Rival to the ruined king in ruin.
Ooh, interesting. Rival to the ruined king in ruin. So Mordecai is one of the champions I'm going to be covering soon. I'm going to cover Senna and Gwen first, but he will be the last one I do because he ties in both with obviously the Shadow Isles plus Noxus as well. But that's interesting. Rival to the Ruined King because he views himself as a king as well, doesn't he? I'm sure he does.
Darkness gathers on the Isles from every depth. Beware the mortal's gifts. Come and meet your end, and a sapling or two. There is still life enough within me to grant you death. Your existence was not meant to be. To bleed the bloodless. You make me glad I don't have ears. It is torture enough being near you, spirit. A lantern. The forest is very dark indeed. The soul of the Isles is lost, beyond your grasp. Yordle, stay out of my trunk! So you're what passes for a hero among the fleshlings. The Isles have forgotten more than just your name. Have you ever tried to dig through roots? Good luck, human. You would scour the Isles without planting a seed.
Okay, so I said it'd be interesting to see the interactions between Maokai and Yorick, and that was quite interesting. Not what I thought it was going to be. Clearly they both have similar agendas, but by the sounds of that, maybe not.
A dangerous bloom, that one. The most beautiful flowers have the sharpest thorns. It was a mistake to become human. You will share their doom. You forgot your roots.
Come on, live a little while you can.
Impressive words. I'm a tree. I don't care.
Are you going to Tree Loop this year? I'm going to dress up as a sassafras.
No.
What?
I fight to free you as well, though a hatchet would suffice.
Silence, mortal. You only give voice to darkness.
Ooh.
A friend
That's interesting.
of the forest no more. Pruning dead branches and odd ones. Mortal to the end. Begone, vile spirit! The Isles will be cleansed! You would fight the forest in the forest? Mortals always invading. Wood knocks back.
Okay.
Another shadow. To rest, if only you could. I would end your burden, but it always returns. Enough bark, and there's no need for a bite.
Okay, I was waiting for something like that.
Blood makes the grass grow.
Does it?
Vengeance bears the sweetest fruit. Mortals. I wondered what happened to that tree.
He got made into a shield.
To strike a blow for nature. Another blade stuck in my bark.
Is that his respawn?
Didn't even notch my trunk.
Okay, fair enough.
Hope blooms anew.
Just appears.
The maelstrom has not ended. I rage against this curse. Beset by spirits, my home laid to waste.
I like his walk.
They call me twisted.
He just crushes little
Life
sapling.
can come back once the earth is turned. The water of life succumbed to death. The mortals will follow.
Yeah.
Hold tight, my sapling.
Okay. Okay, that was pretty good. His special interactions were decent. Like I said at the beginning, his voice reminds me similar. It's a similar kind of sound to Galio's as well. But what's all that about killing the saplings? At the end, did he smash the sapling? At the beginning, was he standing on the sapling? And if that's yes to both, why? Why? I thought he's supposed to be looking after him. But no, that was good. Good to see his interactions with the other champions of the Shadow Isles as well. For me personally, the interactions with Yorick as well were interesting to listen to. Yeah, decent overall. My favourite one would probably be the one with Fiddlesticks, where he mentions something along the lines of, you know, you're embarrassing as a fiddle, or for all fiddles, and for all sticks as well. It's pretty funny. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish off with his Spotlight, which I think is like about 8 or 9 years old. But anyways, let's go. Here we go.
Welcome to the League of Legends Champion Spotlight, featuring
Maokai, the Twisted Treant.
Maokai
Whoa, I wasn't expecting that. That came out of nowhere.
is a support tank hybrid.
And yeah, you can probably see from this that it's quite old. You know it is when, you know, everything's sharp in it. You know, the leaves are pointy. Everything's just pointy. Everything's quite pixelated. But anyway.
He disables enemies, keeps
Let's
his
get it.
teammates alive, and even scouts the map. Maokai's passive is Sap Magic. After 5 spells are cast near Maokai, he is empowered by Magical Sap.
Okay.
When empowered, his next basic attack will heal him for a percentage of his max health.
Yeah, why is he doing that? Why is he killing these saplings? It might show it might not. But what would be cool is if the sapling itself did some damage as well. That went and did its own thing.
While it doesn't
That'd be
make
cool.
him invincible in lane, he'll regain lots of health in large fights.
Oh, there we go.
His first ability is Arcane Smash. Maokai damages and slows targets in a line. Targets immediately around Maokai are knocked backwards. This nuance is especially useful when combined with his second skill.
Okay.
Twisted Advance is up next. Maokai quickly travels to target enemy, damaging and rooting it in place. For those of you who analyze the power of abilities during the spotlight, this is rank 1 of the skill. By rank 5, the duration of the root is doubled. Third comes Sapling Toss. Maokai tosses his sapling to a target area,
There we
dealing
go.
damage where it lands. After a brief delay, the sapling comes to life, chasing down enemy targets nearby. When it reaches the enemy, it explodes, dealing more damage.
I like
The
it.
sapling lasts for 25 seconds and gives a ring of sight
Wow.
where it stands. Enemies who walk nearby are then chased down.
25 seconds.
Maokai's ultimate is Vengeful Maelstrom. Maokai creates an area on the ground. Allies inside of it take reduced damage from minions, monsters, and champions, but not turrets. When Maokai deactivates the ability, enemies inside that ring take damage, with bonus damage based on the amount of damage the ability reduced. While the ability doesn't
Right.
look too impressive blocking Ryze's basic attacks, wait until you see it in a team fight.
Mhm.
Learning Sapling Toss first allows you to help your teammates who jungle. Here I plant 2 saplings before monsters spawn to help Udyr get level 2 a little bit faster. Be sure to back off so you don't steal the experience though.
Smart.
Maokai's abilities all combine together quite well. I'm able to repeatedly harass Heimerdinger out of his lane by using Twisted Advance into Sapling Toss, followed
That's Heimerdinger. Looks like a broccoli, doesn't it, with legs?
by an immediate Arcane Smash. If Heimerdinger hadn't used Ghost to evade the sapling the first time, he probably would have died. Maokai's job in a fight is to be extremely disruptive. Comboing his main abilities together, I set us up for some nice damage on a Mumu and Heimerdinger. When Malphite shows up, I immediately retreat to land Twisted Advance. Most importantly, I walk around him before using Arcane Smash, which knocks him farther away from Ash. Finally, as we chase down a Mumu, Twisted Advance once more allows us a kill underneath the turret.
Okay.
In a mobile fight, you have to be very careful about when to use your ultimate. It drains mana every second, and you want to maximize the damage you deal to enemy champions. Here it blocks a lot of their initial burst, and hits the 4 enemies present in the fight. Afterwards, I get forced backwards due to all the damage I'm taking, which is my job anyway. Arcane Smash forces Trundle away, and I continue to harass with Sapling Toss. After deciding I can survive Malphite, I head in for Twisted Advance and Arcane Smash, helping us get the kill.
Oh, run, run! Oh, hoo-hoo. Okay.
Even if Vengeful Maelstrom doesn't block turret damage, Maokai can still dive them effectively. I help my team pick up Heimerdinger and Sivir by slowing and rooting them in sequence, as well as using Vengeful Maelstrom to help return their damage back. As I escape, I use Twisted Advance on a Mumu to run out of turret range faster. As a tank, you want to pick out isolated targets first. Twisted Advance allows me to get behind Malphite and knock him forward with Arcane Smash. Upon seeing the battle start, I throw up Vengeful Maelstrom. Sapling Toss and Vengeful Maelstrom end up putting a lot of damage out on a Mumu, letting us pick up 3 unanswered kills.
Wait.
Target selection is extremely important though.
I didn't
While our
realize
turret bundle would have been a
Mumu
very
was so
easy kill
tanky.
for us, I'm much more concerned with the Sivir who is killing our Ashe. Twisted Advance locks her inside the turret, while she spell shields my Arcane Smash. Thankfully, Udyr also knew who to kill, and we were able to avenge Ashe's death. When attempting Baron, use your Sapling Toss to scout your opponent's advance. Down in the minimap, you can see we have the major inlet for the purple team covered by saplings. In late game fights like these, your opponents are likely to have a Banshee's Veil. The sapling can remove that shield as they come in. Another extremely important factor of Vengeful Maelstrom is that it has a max range. If you walk too far away from the ring, it disappears.
Missed.
Because of this, you can't go off chasing enemies far away. However, I make a point to exhaust Sivir immediately once the battle starts, and toss Arcane Smash at her while she's near. I spend the rest of my time taking on Malphite and Trundle, using Summon or Heal to keep Kayle alive as long as I can. I deactivate Vengeful Maelstrom to kill Malphite and conserve mana, picking up Trundle with Twisted Advance. It's possible that you would have some problems fighting Maokai. If you're having trouble chopping him down, I guarantee you'll have better luck playing as Lumberjack Scion. Sapling Toss is an excellent
terrible
scouting tool. I'm going to display some important sapling locations while detailing the builds I recommend for Maokai. I take magic penetration marks, mana regeneration per level seals, flat magic resist glyphs, and flat health quintessences. This build should beef you up a fair amount, and allow you to use your abilities to pretty good effect as well. My masteries are 9-21-0. Improved Exhaust allows me to disable an enemy carry, while Heal synergizes extremely well with my ultimate. Make sure to take magic penetration and strength of spirit as well. On the ability side, it depends on your preferences.
The guy's just
The
throwing
default
saplings
tank
everywhere.
build will get just
Love it.
1 point in Sapling Toss before maxing Twisted Advance and Arcane Smash. If you want to play aggressively, Sapling Toss gains the most damage per skill point, and is the best skill to max for damage output. Upgrading Twisted Advance will help keep your opponents in range of the sapling as well. Finally, let's talk items. Sapphire Crystal and Health Potions will give you a lot of sustenance and mana for abilities. Grab a fast Catalyst and usually Mercury Treads. Some opponents might require different boots, so think about how many spells will actually be affected by them before making your decision. From there, Aegis of the Legion, Sunfire Cape, because not even you can stop this forest fire, Banshee's Veil, Frozen Heart, and Void Staff are my items of choice. Maokai's damage combined with Sunfire Cape is pretty good, so I like to take the magic penetration. Otherwise, Force of Nature or Randuin's Omen is a good choice. Please let us know how you liked the video, and post any suggestions you have down below.
Okay, so yeah, we end as we always do on the spotlight, which is really good. Really good for someone like me who doesn't know anything about his abilities. Let me know in the comment section if and how much his abilities have changed since this spotlight, because clearly this spotlight is kind of old. Hopefully the saplings that do their own little thing, hopefully they're still in play, because like I mentioned at the beginning, I'd like to see the saplings, you know, run around and explode on their own accord as well. So hopefully they're still a thing. But let me know if they are, let me know if they're not. But yeah, it was good. It's good to see his abilities. Hopefully you enjoyed actually my thoughts and reactions to everything else I've done in this video as well, which includes the skins, also the bio, I'm going to say login theme. He has no login theme, which is a shame as well. Also, if I'm missing that, let me know if there is a login theme for Maokai. I don't think there is, but if there is, let me know as well, and I'll come back and review that. Also, the story and the special interactions as well. And if you did, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, and maybe also subscribe for more content like this. The last official champion now from the Shadow Isles I have to cover is Elise. I think she's called Elise, the Spider Woman. Once I've covered her, then I will be moving on to Senna, because clearly she's an integral part of the whole theme with Shadow Isles, and then Gwen. And then after that, I'm going to move on to Mordekaiser. And then after that, if you're really curious, I'm going to move on to Noxus. So that's kind of the plan for the next 4 or 5 weeks in terms of League of Legends Champions. Yeah, and that's it for me today, guys. I will see you in the next one.